Ouch. Man, that is just such a good card. At instant speed, like, oh man.
Yeah. The hard part is you have to be playing it in a deck like this. But, I mean, it's great.
Hello, good game. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're all having a magical day. Thanks for taking the time to support the channel. Today, very special video. We have another content creator on. We're continuing the series co-op sessions. Today is the one and only MTG Jeff. We have one of his original decks, which is really cool. We're going to be playing it in the top 50 Mythic, the top 30, if I'm being honest, which is really, really cool. And what's deadly, this is an original deck I've never seen before. Maybe you pay attention to Jeff's channel, you could have seen it. And it has a 100% win rate. We are cutting through not only some of the best decks, but some of the best players, which is a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. Well, howdy, partner. How's she going today?
Dude, doing so good. This deck is so fun.
Yeah, rock and roll. So we're naming it Grim Infinity. 60 card best of 1, 3.3 average mana value with 12 non-creatures, 29 creatures, and 19 land. That's pretty light on the land. And I'll tell you what, we had no problem finding land today. So that's really cool. Tell us a little bit about the deck here, Jeff. What are we doing with it?
Yeah, so we're trying to get creatures in the graveyard. We are trying to win with Syr Konrad, and the cool thing about this one is that we're trying to win with Syr Konrad with Harness Infinity. Harness Infinity is just one of the the sweetest cards that came out with Strixhaven, and a lot of people did find the good use for it. But yeah, so for 7 mana, instant speed, exchange your hand and graveyard, and the basic idea is kill them by bringing your graveyard to hand. Which, if you have Syr Konrad on the battlefield, anytime one of your creatures leaves the graveyard to your hand, you'll deal 1 point of damage. Then when you discard all of your creatures from your hand that you just barely got from your graveyard, you deal another point of damage with Syr Konrad. And so the whole idea is just to try to basically one-shot them with just tons of value, and at the same time you get to draw 20 something cards with Harness Infinity a lot of times. And so it's just a really busted card, and it utilizes it perfectly in this deck.
Deadly.
Yeah,
go ahead. I just wanted to point in that for anybody who didn't really follow that, we are discarding cards at the end of our turn because we have to go down to 7 in our hand as a maximum, right?
Yeah.
So really cool combo, something that I thought was super jank. Like, you know, I took a look at it. It's like, well, you could do it with Syr Konrad, like when we were doing previews last set. And it's like, well, how are you gonna cast a 5 CMC and then a 7 CMC? It's like, this is crazy. But I don't know if it's just the current meta. Not only is the 4/5 or the 5/4 a pretty decent blocker against a lot of the current aggro decks. I just wish it had a little bit of life gain. Unfortunately, it doesn't. But we didn't run into any problems really taking too much damage. There's a little bit of life gain in the deck through Mire Triton.
Timber Galls the Dead can also gain a little bit of life as well. So there's a little bit, but not a ton for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. So there's a little bit, but it was not a problem at all, which was really, really cool. So that's kind of the main situation that's going on with the deck. Of course, there's some ramp and a little bit of removal, and of course a ton of mill in the deck as well. We're not going to go too in depth into it for you guys today, because we want to give you a reason to go check out Jeff's channel, right? Of course, we will have the video link to this video from Jeff's channel where he goes in depth through each individual card, why they're included, what they do, and then of course he's going to be playing with some matches with it as well, so you get some more bang for your buck. And you know, this is a really cool deck. I'm super grateful for you not only taking the time out of your day to come hang out on my channel, super appreciate that, but you know, you saved me some time with a sick deck, and we made some really cool content together. So much obliged. Thank you so much. And yeah, with that being said, Jeff, where can people find you and what do you do? Let's do a little bit of a plug before we get into the gameplay.
So I'm all in on YouTube with this. So I kind of stopped streaming just to focus on making sure that my videos were as good as possible for you guys with YouTube. You guys can definitely check that out. MTG Jeff on YouTube, just search it up, it'll be there. And I do a bunch of really fun decks like this where I try to make jank that is good. And so I'm not as focused as much as HEG is on making sure it's like mythic level, that kind of stuff, but I try to make the fun things happen. You can check it out.
Awesome. So again, you guys, we've got some really cool gameplay footage for you guys. Undefeated within the top 50 mythic, working our way into the top 30. The content creator co-op, of course, there's a playlist with these videos in it. If you're looking for, you know, some more goodies, that's available there. And, you know, don't only subscribe to my channel, but definitely hit up Jeff's channel. Leave him a subscribe as well, and definitely watch our videos every single day. That's the greatest thing you can do to reward us for all this hard work.
Absolutely.
Right? So with that out of the way, enjoy today's gameplay footage, and we'll be back after that to kind of wrap up with our final thoughts and deck review. Enjoy.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're going first, which is really nice. Jeff, what do you think of this hand? Okay, amazing sounds good to me. So we're going to keep this, eh? Cool. And then do you want to Triumph first, Snarl, or Snarl first? Because we don't have a 1-drop. To get a turn 2. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Well, should we keep the Triumph hidden probably? Or do you want to play that on turn 3? You're muted? Oh my gosh. Are you still muted, Jeff?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I'm
That's
going to turn you up just in case. You guys, Jeff's here. I don't know if you know. This poor guy's so quiet. You can barely hear him. So we're going to show them a land at this point. Let's just go, right? And then we'll probably play the Skull Prophet.
Yeah, and then play out. Yeah, Skull Prophet for sure, especially now that you have the binding online.
Thank you, chat. Really appreciate you guys. I would have reported the whole match.
What's up, everyone?
Has he been muted the whole time he's been here? He's been here for like an hour. No, we were having a conversation with CGB. I just must have accidentally done it. So land. Oh, Kit's playing dogs. This is dog Winota deck.
Dogs could be terrifying, actually.
Man, that one dog is super annoying. The pack leader.
Pack leader and the 3-mana one that comes in a little bit hasty. I think you go Tymaret Calls the Dead because 2/2s are actually just really good here. So I think Tymaret just to start milling, go for the game plan, save binding for the good stuff. Yeah, get rid of binding for a 2/2.
Okay. We were doing some play testing with the deck just so I could become familiar with it. Do we want to try to take the dog? I have a rule of like always try to get non-humans off of the board when playing Winota. It's just like I don't care if I'm trading.
Skull Prophet can also mill too, and you're wanting to mill right now as much as possible. So no attacks, hold it up and mill at the end step.
Yeah, force, like make it look like it can block and then mill. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. The pack leader is out.
There's pack leader.
So that's a good target for binding.
Yeah. And I don't think you trade off with this. I think you still actually. I guess you could block and then mill.
Well, no, 'cause we can't kill it, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, it prevents damage.
Oh no, it doesn't. It does not. Yeah, so we get one chance to take it right now. I think we could block and mill at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's worth it
because we're still binding next turn for 4.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because you're still ramping up to harness. We still have enough mana to get there pretty competently. So I think that's fine.
Decent, and I honestly think this might be the scoop. No, I wish.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, getting rid of 2 creatures right away, keep hitting. I would say keep getting out the 2/2s right now. It's better for the Syr Konrad play and everything like that. You want to have creatures in the graveyard, but if it gets you tons of value on board, you go for it for sure.
Yeah, and we're removing dogs, which is great.
Yeah,
because right now this is where they want a Winota, but there's no non-humans. Yeah. That's great.
And all dogs have like 2 toughness, like basically all of them, and so they won't be able to block very effectively. They won't be able to deal much stuff with that. The prevention of damage is annoying, but as long as we have ways to remove the pack leader, you're good.
So we'll probably cycle this Triumph.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an Harness Infinity.
I would keep that order.
Hold on to that. I mean, that's just all the cards around the world. So
yeah. Do we want the Triton on top though for the extra little bit of mill?
No, because your only play for the next turn is to mill. Actually, it's only a play for. So I would get the Harness Infinity, and maybe Mire Triton can come in for the next draw after that. But
okay,
I would just be focused on making sure you get to the Harness Infinity.
Cool.
It's draw 12 right now or something like that, right? So I think that's good.
Do we want to show the Triumph and then cycle the Triumph? we still have mana for the Triton, and then that would pull the Infinity into our hand.
Yeah, I would show it and then cycle now, and then play it. Yeah. Yeah, and that still gives you mana for the Harness Infinity for the next turn.
We did lose that Triton that we were going to keep, though.
And I would go ahead and swing in with the
I think
Death
so,
Toucher
yeah.
there. Yeah.
This is
And
a
you want to
hard...
try to get Mire Triton in the graveyard for the Harness Infinity, just to get more value.
Okay. It's a hard match for them, right? They don't
So-
want to be taking damage, but they want to be stacking dogs, and it's like between a rock and a hard place for them.
They're also a tribal deck, so they probably should be trying to get lords out and defending a little bit better there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of they're really, really far behind at this point, so I don't really know what the best play is for them.
Well, luckily that dog deck has the ability not to pull only lands, and they've got that Alpine Houndmaster or something that pulls out 2 dogs from their deck, so it's like that's real good.
Yeah, so
this doesn't matter, and then we'll
only swing with the 2/2, not the Mire Triton here. I guess you're okay with having it trade off, but that's just the obvious trade off for them. It does get Selfless Savior in the graveyard, so maybe, but it's fine.
Yeah, and they're bricking. They've not played their 4th land for some time, so
Well, yeah,
they do need to top deck that land.
having their stuff die with Syr Konrad is also good. Yeah, so wait till they unstep, Harness Infinity, and then Syr Konrad, and we should be able to get in for about 10 points of damage that turn.
All right, they have their 4th land. No Winota. We're good to go.
Hey.
Do you get pack leader though?
I don't know if they're actually playing the Winota side
They
of
do.
things.
I've played Kit probably 10 times in the last 2 days.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They love the dogs. They're not giving up on it, and they're like highly ranked too. They're doing good at it. So they're in their attack phase here.
Let them go ahead and swing if they want to here. All right, yeah. So Harness Infinity gets Syr Konrad out. Should hit for quite a bit.
Ouch, man, that is just such a good card. At instant speed, like, oh man.
Yeah. The hard part is you have to be playing it in a deck like this, but I mean it's great. So yeah,
I don't think we have Konrad.
did we exile him earlier
No. Binding.
for a 2/2?
No, we did not. We just
I
don't
mean,
have
either
him.
way, we get to draw tons of cards. So yeah, binding to kill pack leader. I mean, like this. There's nothing bad about what just happened there, right? So
No.
it's-
Well, I mean, we didn't get to pop off, Jeff.
oh yeah, that's awful. It's the worst.
Winning games in Mythic is just not enough. Actually, you know, that is
Exactly.
popping off. Look at that
If
hand
you're not
refill.
having fun with it,
Tymaret calls the dead,
um,
and then Sentinel? Or
yeah,
an
probably.
Anarch?
Yeah. Yeah, I think just go wide enough to start putting enough pressure on.
Yeah.
I mean,
They could
us
come
having
back
lots
from
of
this.
creatures on board is still good.
There's Konrad and Infinity. Take the Alakite out. And I still think it much matters what we play here. Worried about a Winota Pulse. We probably want to keep the blockers up. I think. And then discard. we can-
Yeah, I would. Well, see if you can get them to trade for anything you can. Mire Triton, you still have enough creatures to. I would just swing it with just the 2/2. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, if you go for Mire Triton right now, it would force them to potentially try to block. But if they're going for Winota, they wouldn't.
Let's just toss 1 Triome and 1 Swamp, and then we can cycle one of these Triomes if we want, and then we've got access to whatever land we need.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting ramp with binding here, so you should be good on mana for a while.
There's the Houndmaster doing its dirty do. They're recovering quite nicely here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if they find a Winota, this is going to be pretty terrifying. And this is the biggest issue with this deck is binding is basically the only removal that you got. And acolytes help make sure that keeps happening, but not always.
Mm-hmm.
Another Tymaret, Skull Prophet. Yeah, Mire Triton. I'll go Mire Triton first to make sure you have more options, but yeah. And then I think you start putting the pressure on, forcing them to actually block with their guys.
Jeff let me know that Maya is obnoxiously loud, you guys. I don't know if she's that loud through the YouTube video, but I guess she gets the job done on Discord. Hey, Maya? Yeah. So get Mire Triton out.
Mammoth isn't a bad play either, just because it's a big blocker for all their stuff. But School Prophet,
I think
Sentinel's
double
also
playing,
play.
yeah, then more blockers.
More mill as well. The only issue is there isn't a way in this deck to get Harness Infinity back from the graveyard, except for Harness Infinity.
We still have 2 more copies of it. And only 22 cards in deck, so it's like a 9% chance we'll draw it.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
I guess get out another Sentinel, right?
Oh, you dumb HGG. You're such a dingling.
I would swing in with everything but Aracnir.
And just try to start forcing them to block.
Yeah, just forcing blocks, forcing damage. You should be in good shape.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they have a Winota, you have enough blockers here that they'll be tapped out.
We
and you should be able to hit in for lethal. So
this guy,
I think you're
woof, baby. He loves the dogs, man. There's so many dogs played that match. Pow!
Seriously.
You guys see that? That's a 100% win rate. Top 50 mythic. You want the in-depth deck tech, the ins and outs, you have to go check it out on Jeff's channel. You can see it. We'll have a link for it in the description below. Don't worry, though. We're going to play a couple more matches. All right, Jeff. What do you think of this hand?
Perfect.
Yeah, good hand. We're going to mulligan. Even I can figure that one out. This looks nice, though. You know, the dog destroyers.
Yeah, that's pretty decent right there.
If you guys didn't catch on,
Absolutely.
It's a rematch against Kit. Whether they're playing the same deck or not, we're going to have to find out here. So we're keeping 6, but what are we going to toss away?
Probably a Triome or the Florahedron, is my guess.
Yeah, we're going to go with the Triome.
Yeah.
And
I mean, dual lands are pretty nice sometimes.
We're going to... Oh, there. Never mind.
But yeah, it's all good.
Do you want to play the Florahedron right now? I know we did.
No, I play Triumph first for sure.
Okay.
Always Triumph first.
Cool.
Anytime you can get a dual land out and it's forced to be tapped, you always get dual lands out as soon as possible. Now I'd probably go Florahedron.
And the Sentinel.
Even over the Sentinel. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Florahedron Sentinel.
Oh, they've switched it up. We are not playing against dogs. We are playing against clerics. Or mono white life gain by chance.
Yeah, I think just Triton. Syr Konrad in the graveyard. Nice.
2/2 with Vigi. Lifelink as long as you control another cleric. I hope... Well, at least we have removal. Which we should save because I cannot
with double
stand.
binding, they're definitely going to be trying to go for that 27 life.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's worth using a binding for that, though.
No,
I would wait.
On the Righteous Valkyrie, though, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Valkyrie, Speaker of the Heavens, potentially.
If they get too high.
Yeah, the life gain can be problematic for this deck, but they also are going to be playing lots of creatures, so Syr Konrad's mill ability, just to mill each player with a lot of ramp, can actually be really good here.
Cool.
So,
yeah, I love not having to have already had to master the deck before we get playing it, right? Like, it's just like, man, usually, like, you have to, like, build a deck, then master the deck, and then film it, and here we're just jumping right in. Like, this is great for me. So that's a pretty cool target to nuke.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I like that you think that I've mastered anything, you know.
Oh, bro, come on.
Definitely
easy.
not the
Settle
case,
down.
I'll take it.
And then we can just
like
keep pushing, like.
Yeah, We need some sort of card advantage, hopefully soon. The best draws, of course, Syr Konrad.
Well, we're at 7 mana. But our
Acolyte,
graveyard is
Acolyte of
empty.
Affliction, and Harness Infinity. Yeah, so
We need to
if
mill.
we find that Harness Infinity, it's great. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely kill. Kill with fire.
Oh my gosh, that's a
Dude,
good
World
card.
Shaper is bomb too.
So I'm gonna
World
leave the
Shaper is actually
Triome.
a sweet card.
I think I'm gonna leave the Triome in decks. We can draw and then cycle it if we need.
Yeah, I would say so.
That's a little.
You have plenty of all the colors here, so you're good.
Whew.
Yeah, not enough for World Shaper, so yeah, just swing in.
I mean, if they have
with
more
this one,
copies
I
of
don't
the
think there's
same
any reason to hold back with the pathway. Holding on to cards here, I don't think matters as much because there is benefit for having lands on the battlefield with Syr Konrad. So you want as much ramp as possible because if you have him, you get to mill more.
And we can sink into it heavily.
And it's just better. Yeah, it increases the power that you have when you do top deck in the late game, and so I think it's better to not just be holding it back.
And Acolyte of Affliction would be our best draw. And then we can grab one of these bindings back and recast it.
Yeah, that or the Harness Infinity.
And
yeah.
they just grabbed life gain now, which is frustrating. Oh, topdeck.exe in the background. I always talk about it, right? It's a little secret that some of the content creators pass around. It's a little program we're on. Oh, stop it, HGG. So we're going to grab that binding right back. Or do we need Conrad?
Oh, yeah. No,
Jeff?
I would go for binding here.
Okay.
I would absolutely... I'd
need-
absolutely go for binding here.
I need an
Because you
adult.
can play it this turn. Yeah, tap down the Acolyte.
Well, actually, we should have tapped Mire Triton and kept the Acolyte to defend the healer. Well, actually, no, they lost their life gain now.
All right.
They lost their life gain.
Yeah, so
that's not a
yeah,
problem.
you keep poking. I mean, they're probably going to get life gain all the time. And now you're tapped out, but if they tap out, it doesn't matter.
No, they're all out. They have no more life gain.
See, this is actually the issue with being able to talk with someone about all my theory is that I still keep a lot of it in my brain, you know?
Yeah.
But when I get to talk about it, it's like, oh, there's so many different things, like all the different options right now. Ooh, there it is.
Oh, I didn't even notice. I was just like still had my jaw dropped over their Archon of Sun's Grace. It's like, dang it, we're out of bindings.
How big is the library right now?
It's big. We only have 5 in the
I'm
grave.
way.
5 in the grave.
Only 5.
Binding.
So
Prophet,
World
Conrad.
Shaper is one of the best ways to be filling the graveyard. If it does die, you get all the lands from graveyard to the battlefield. But I mean, it feels wrong to not play the Harness Infinity into Syr Konrad. I think that's the highest probability for the most damage. So I would go ahead and hold on to the Infinity, and I would play that at end step.
Really? Even just to draw the binding? Conrad and Prophet?
Binding against Syr Konrad? I mean...
Good. You're probably right.
You're going to be able to play both of them on the next turn with the land as well, right? It's a tough choice. I really don't know. Don't swing at the Acolyte.
We have Death
Well, I
Touch.
guess you can get it back then, right?
We have Death Touch. And everything comes back.
You're also giving them a chance to gain life here, though.
We can't block the flyer regardless. Oh, we can. Oh, but they're going to gain life anyways.
Yeah. So if anything, I would save Jaspera Sentinel back to block the Archon and have it die that way.
But it won't
And that
have
way you
it
keep
won't
your
have
life a
Death
little
Touch
bit
on the
higher.
defense. It only has Death Touch when it's attacking right now.
Oh, is it Death Touch right now?
Yeah. Just from the binding
Isn't
for
that
our turn.
That's only on the next turn, right? You get the Death Touch. Oh,
Oh,
did
but
it go away already?
we'll get it next turn too, though. But not on their turn. Right?
Yeah,
Until end of turn, yeah. So I think we go all in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I missed the Death Touch. Yeah, go for it.
Do these lands, when it dies... Okay, no ETB there. When it attacks. That's... good.
Ooh, Griffins. Yeah, the flying is going to get us here if we're not careful.
Yeah, they're going to grab another 3/3 here, too. Whatever.
Oh, rough.
It's a lot of life gain.
Yeesh. All the Pegasus.
The one
too.
thing topdeck.exe can't do is put Shadow's Verdict into your deck from outside. I wish it could. I'll be all set then.
Harness Infinity.
So the life gain here probably just beats us, but you got to do what you got to do, right?
You do have the binding and Syr Konrad on the same turn, so or I think you have enough. So yeah, so Syr Konrad and then binding kill Archon. They're gonna have a massive hit, and then we're just hoping that we can kill them by the next turn. You have Sentinel to block, which is worth it. So I would just hold back here.
Are you sure?
Actually, I wouldn't play the Skull Prophet. Keep Sentinel to block with.
But they're only
and then pass turn.
2/4. They're only dealing 8 damage.
You're at 9.
Yeah, that gives us 1.
Well, so you get a deal of damage when Sentinel dies as well. So you're trying to get as much damage in as possible. And so when Sentinel blocks, you can use the 2 mana to then mill both players. It can potentially be a 3 damage play
With Konrad. Okay.
And you're saving 2 points of life. And so I think it's worth it there. Yeah, swing with the Triton for sure.
I don't see them blocking that. They looks like they want to, but I think they should just keep those attackers.
They're probably trying to keep their life total a little bit higher because Syr Konrad's out now. You never know what bad thing can happen. Yeah, down to 13. Birth. All right.
That's fine. Only gains 2 life, not 3. If we can keep that life gain at bay, I think we've got a chance. Just the 2/2s hit.
So yeah, if they attack, you block
and
with
then
Sentinel, and you mill too.
Master blockers. There we go. Tap the Affliction because it can't attack or block, so like, whatever.
Yeah, so that's 3 points of damage you just got to do there. So down to 10,
right.
And you have tons of mana available to now mill.
We get another blocker too.
And so I think you probably just use all your mana just to mill. Actually, yeah, Sentinel you definitely play out.
Wait, we have 11 and this costs 2? Yeah, that works. And then that's 5 mils.
Yeah. So I would swing in with the 5/5. Or yeah, with Syr Konrad.
He should have
They're
menace.
going to have to block with the healer.
And that's another point of damage.
Yeah.
Oh man, deadly deck, Jeff.
And I think you probably try to kill him here. I think they're going to be playing Revitalize potentially with Griffinary. So
But we could still once they put it when they put it on the stack, we can do it.
Dude, he has 85 cards in his deck. What?
Sometimes you don't notice. Now that's a loaf of bread.
I mean, Skull Prophet has a lot of value as well.
I think we probably just have lethal though.
Yeah, it's really close, but I think so. I mean, with 85 cards, you have no clue what you're going to be running into with that. But I think you go for the mill. Dude, I don't know.
Let's end our turn. They get the defender, and whatever they cast, so it doesn't matter. We're just good to go. We can just let it rip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that sucked. Life is better a little bit. You need both creatures. Creature, perfect. And that was a Valkyrie. That is a hot pull.
And even if you just get him down to
one more creature,
you're in great shape. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and we survive here. We definitely have lethal. Like this is super duper GG's. This is what I like to call a hello good game moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even if they're swinging in, they're taking a little bit more. So yeah, I think you still just block with Sentinel. Don't even worry about your life total that way. Get them down to 2. Beautimus.
Oh my gosh. We're just killing it, right? That's all you get though for winning a game in Mythic. Only 3 ranks. It's a hard life.
That's rough. It's rough.
Nice. All right, Jeff. That was pretty deadly. You know, it was cool that we matched the same person and they didn't use the same deck, so we got to play against one of the best players in the game using 2 of their favorite decks, I assume, because you don't really use decks that you don't like, right? So it's some good variety there. And, you know, like, when I first looked at this deck, I was like, man, that is so jank. How are we going to do this? Like, I only see Binding of the Old Gods as removal. I see almost no life gain, and we have the weirdest, kill condition that is like,
Yeah.
This costs 12 mana to pull off, right? So,
honestly, when I built this deck, it was kind of like I just don't care about building something good. I just want to play Syr Konrad and Harness Infinity, and I didn't even think about like making it amazing. I was just thinking like, I just want to make that happen. Let's go for it. And it turned into something where I think I had 100% win rate on my video as well. Like I just like dominated with this deck, and it is just a really good one. And I wish I knew how to make that happen with other decks, but for some reason, this deck is just, it's been really consistent for me. So it's been a super fun one to play.
Honestly, my favorite thing here had to be the Acolyte of Affliction, bringing back Binding of the Old Gods. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That
Dude,
is
it's
savage.
so good. And Acolyte typically isn't used, but if you're wanting to build, like, the synergies in this deck and the value you get out of it is really, really awesome. The biggest issue that the deck sometimes has is you have to find Harness Infinity, and sometimes you mill all the copies out or that kind of thing. You can bring in copies like Once in Future and also Balagad Recovery as the two cards that I think are really good to be bringing in for that. But I didn't know where to squeeze them in with this. We already were squeezing in lots of creature lands with this to make sure that we had more creatures to mill over Syr Konrad. And I didn't know if I could bring in Balagad Recovery in with it, but what do you think?
Honestly, so it's one of those things where it's like I always do multiple versions of a deck, right? Where I'm like, I just need it to work.
Yeah.
And then, you kind of accomplish that goal and you're like, okay, so how could I make this consistently work without, diminishing its current stature? And, Balagad Recovery, I think that's an amazing option, just because it is also a land, right? As far as what you're trimming, this sounds weird, but it could be a Konrad. It could be an Infinity Harness, because that card, A, is a land if you already have it, or B, is just going to pull them out anyways, potentially. I wouldn't want to drop the Binding. I wouldn't want to drop the Alakite. We didn't get to see the World Shaper in action.
Yeah. Which, if you guys want to see that go crazy, check out my video as well, because honestly, that one does go crazy in the video I did. And so I think it does deserve slots there. But I agree that it could like there's a lot of cards that could potentially come out. Like you're saying though, you could take out Syr Konrad, you could take some things, because there's a ton of ways to make sure that even if you miss the combo, you're milling so many cards over that's your way to search for the cards that you need. Harness Infinity brings all them back to hand, and you get to take a peek at everything again, which is really cool.
Deadly. Well, again, Jeff, thank you so much for the time, bro. Really appreciate it. Everybody, go check out Jeff's channel. That's the greatest thing that you could do for me in this video. I don't even need your likes here today. I don't need your subscription. Go give this guy some love, and that'll be enough for me. So much appreciate it. Thank you guys all. I hope you have a magical day. And of course, we'll see you soon in the next.